Hello and good morning, everyone. I'm Ashrita Saran. I'm Director of Campbell South Asia, and I will be chairing this very interesting session today. I invite you all to the panel presentation on reviews of health system education. We have three presenters here who will be talking about problem-based learning in medical fields and, interestingly, on bibliometric analysis, which are now increasingly used for analysis of development of research fields. More prominent, of course, in the medical sciences than social sciences, because in social sciences, we have other publication channels, and not all articles and publications are indexed. And at Campbell, we did use this technique for one of our projects on homelessness. It was an evidence and gap map. So, like I mentioned, we have three presenters here who are presenting on 4 different topics. Each of the presenters will have 15 minutes, and I would request the presenters to kindly stick to the time, and we will take questions towards the end. I request the audience to please add your questions either to the Q&A or to the chat. And if you're directing it to a particular presenter, please mention that in your chat. Otherwise, you can keep on posting your questions there. All our panelists today are from Lanzhou University, and without wasting any more time, because we need more time for the presentations, I'm going to be inviting our first presenter, Liping, who will be presenting on effectiveness of problem-based learning for medical education and overview of systematic reviews. Liping, over to you, please. Liping, you're muted right now. Could you please unmute yourself? You're muted. Oh, we still can't hear you. There is a mute button that you might need to press to unmute.
Sorry.
It's very disturbed, actually. We cannot hear you very well. Can you try again, Liping?
Could you see?
I still feel it very disturbed. Azhar, can you please help her with the system?
Ashrita, could you see my screen?
I really cannot hear you very well.
Sorry. Hello, Ashrita. Hello, everyone. My name is Luying from China, and I'm a doctoral student.
I still cannot hear you. There's a lot of disturbance at your end.
Okay.
Maybe try joining again, Liping, because there's a lot of disturbance. We really cannot hear you very well out there. Could you try again? We cannot see your screen as well right now, Liping. I think there's some network issue maybe at your end. Now we can see your screen. Could you try it with your voice again? It's still not very clear. It's breaking up. Liping, I would suggest maybe you can try joining in again. In the meantime, we will move to the next presentation while you work with Azhar to understand what is causing the issue. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next presentation, Lipping, and maybe you can try working around your sound in the meantime.
Start my presentation.
Lipping, could you please stop sharing your screen? We cannot
Hello?
hear you. So I'm moving to the different presenter. We'll come back to you towards the end. Okay, can I now request Liang Zhao, who will be presenting on two different topics. One is on bibliometric analysis of the curriculum and teaching reforms of postgraduate in the field of medicine and health. And she will also be taking us through competency-based education and global medicine and health of bibliometric analysis. Liang Zhao, could you please try sharing your screen now?
So it's my turn. Hello.
Yeah, please share your screen.
Okay. Okay, thanks for Sarah's introduction. My name is Dana. I come from Lanzhou University, and my first article.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
My first article.
I'm sorry, even you're breaking up.
Wait. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, my first article I shared with you was Biometric Analysis of the curriculum and teaching reform of postgraduate in medicine and the health field. I will introduce this article from 4 parts. First, about its background. As we all know, there are some problems in Chinese postgraduate education. The traditional education have some problems, such as the teaching content lagged behind the clinical requirement, and unreasonable curricular system, and other teaching method, and it's even it's difficult to transform achievement of basic research into the prevention or treatment of clinical disease. So it is inevitable to reform curriculum and teaching. So this article aimed to explore the research status of postgraduate curriculum and teaching reform in medicine and health field in order to provide reference for future research. And then about its method. First, we searched 3 Chinese databases to find some records about about related research, and then we screened this research according to include criteria and the standardized keywords, institution, and journal. Finally, we analysis. The network map of author and keywords tested map of keywords were generated by whatever and the most soft office 2019 was used to produce 9 graph of publication per year. Finally, we included 630 publications, and from this picture we can see that the number of publications is increasing. And there are 2,038 institutions conduct related research, and all articles we include were published in 196 journals, and all authors come from 29 provinces. There are 2,134 authors. Among these authors, 24 authors have cooperation relationship, and these 25 authors formed four cooperation group. This red group and great group have 6 authors, and this blue group have 6 authors, and this yellow group have 7 authors. And from this picture we can see that the authors all come from Air Force Medicine University, and within group the cooperation is close, and between the group the cooperation is naked. And 879 keywords was extracted. Among these keywords, 25 keywords with more than 8 keywords formed 4 group. And the largest cluster, this red one, have 8 keywords. In this group, the main keywords was PBL and postgraduate education, postgraduate teaching, and the 6th cluster, the great one, have 7 keywords. This keyword in this group, the main keyword was curricular and teaching reform, postgraduate education, and postgraduate tree. And the 3rd cluster, this blue one, have 5 keywords. The main keywords were postgraduate, statistic, and reform. And this yellow one have 4 keywords. The main keywords was experimental, teaching, and medicine. The small cluster have 1 keyword, is CBL teaching method. And in this density map, we can see besides the search terms, the postgraduate education, postgraduate tree, and statistic was the top list most frequent keywords. In summer, we can conclude the following conclusion: the research of different processes is unbalanced. Author and institution which pay no terms attention to this field area, cooperation between different author or institution is poor. And from network map of keywords, we can find the 5 research topics. Topic 1 is reform of statistic teaching model. Topic 2 is reform of the curriculum system, curricular teaching and training model of clinical professor degree, postgraduate after the imitation of the resident standardized training system. The topic 3 is CBL teaching method, and the topic 4 is PBL teaching method and the cultivation of innovation ability. And the last topic is the experimental teaching in medicine and the healthy field. Okay, Second topic I want to share is competence-based education in global medical field. And I will also introduce this article from this 4 parts. First, need to know what is competence-based education. Competence-based education is an education model that allows the students to learn and demonstrate their ability and their pace. In medical field, it means cultivating students' clinical competence required to provide efficient service and best meet society healthy care need. And when CBT was applied in medical field, it not only cultivated more excellent professions, but also alleviated the demand of insufficient person. But however, some people question the some people question the feasibility of its application in medicine field. So to answer this question, we do this article. This article is to export the research topic, research hotspot, and the development trend of competence-based education in medical field. And the method of this article is similar to the first article. Finally, the 4,045 CBE research was included, and this research was published in 20 languages, and the English article was most common. And all article was published in 1,030 journals, and 4,180 institutes conduct CBE research. There are 11,596 authors pay attention to CBE research, and among these authors, 84 authors who have more than 5 publications formed 80 cooperation group. In this picture, we can see several groups have close operation, but most of group their cooperation is poor. And 3,974 keywords was extracted. Among these keywords, 5 keywords with more than 100 accuracy formed 6 groups. In these groups, we can see the largest group. This red group have 25 keywords. The main keywords is competency-based education, human, United States, and so on. The second group, this grade one, have 11 keywords. The main keyword is clinical competence, educational measurement, and education, medical graduate, and so on. And the third, this blue group have 11 keywords. The main keyword is curriculum, education, and this yellow group have 6 keywords. In this group, we can see the main keywords was adults, female, young adults. And there are 2 keywords, child and pediatrics. These two words consist of a group and the smallest group. This group have 1 keyword. This keyword is Canada. And in Destimap, we can see besides the search terms, the curriculum, clinical, competence, and film were almost frequent keywords. And 499 keywords with more than 10 occurs from the 10 network map. From the 10 network map for keywords. In this picture, we can find the future research. The future research direction is online learning method and distance teaching for me. I applied in CBE, and simulation is a widely used tool as a teaching strategy. And the CBE applied in specialty in the medical field, such as desk teaching and teaching quality and the safe parents in the teaching process. So we can get the conclusion that first, field cooperation between group and member and no institution specialized in this field, and two, difference in publication of journals in the medical field, and many different kinds of journals pay attention to CBE, but there is a lack of journals that pay long-term attention to this research field. And from network map of keywords, we can get the main research topic is topic 1. CBE can be applied to all aspect of the medical field, and the teacher of clinical practice ability is its main application. And the teacher and the student are the two most important roles in the teaching model, and the different age and gender are the main factor affected the quality of teach. And about future research, it's may online learning, distant teach, and simulation teach I applied in CBE, and the improvement of teaching quality and pay more attention to the safety of parents in the teaching process. 6. It's all.
Great. Thank you, Liang, for an interesting presentation. We already have some questions coming from the audience, but let us take it towards the end, because I'm sure all of these questions would be common to the three of you because they are on bibliometry. So let us take it towards the end. Can we try Lipping again? Could you please try sharing your presentation?
Pay attention.
Hi, Ashrita. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. I can hear you. It's clear.
Okay. Since Lipping's network is not working, so I will give her speech instead, okay?
Okay, sure. Go ahead, please.
Okay, let me share my screen first. I can't do the screen share. I don't know why.
There must be you should be able to share because you are one of the presenters. Can you see a screen? Can you see that screen icon at the bottom of your screen? You just have to click on it, and you should be able to share the presentation or the entire screen.
But it was forbidden.
Yashika and Azhar, could you please give her the access?
Hello.
Critical decisions. So we know that impact
Hello.
evaluation helps us, evidence helps
Okay,
us
let me
make decisions
change
about,
another browser.
whether the project worked or not, that's the core. Whether we should invest more.
Hello, can you hear me?
Whether this project
Yes.
is replicated.
Yeah. So, yeah, all the access is provided already to all the speakers. So there's no extra access needed to share screen or something like that.
And mention me.
Okay, to
To-
share a
to-
screen, just I'm helping you to how to go to that option. You will see a setting button.
So
Could you
you
wait
need
for
to
me
provide her the
1
access.
second, please? Because I want to change another browser to
Yes,
make a
Ashrita.
try.
She's presenting in place of Lipping, so you need to give her the access. Could you please check Azhar at your back end if
Access
all
for
the
the
access has been provided to her?
presentation.
Please let me out and wait for a second, please. Okay. I'm going to change another browser.
Okay, so right now are you using Chrome or any other browser?
Okay.
Yes, Asrita, you were saying something.
Actually, she's presenting in place of Lipping, so I'm not sure if she has been provided the access of the presenter. So could you please check it?
No, actually, there is no extra access required to present here. Actually, all the access is already provided to all the speakers. So just anybody who is in this panel, just click on the share button and share whatever you want, like presentation, video, or whatever content you have. So all the access is provided already.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, can we move to the our third presenter, and we'll come back to Luping's presentation towards the end.
Sure.
Okay. So can I now invite Luying Cheng to present on her presentation on bibliometric analysis for foreign papers of standardized patient-based on teaching. Luying, can you please take over now? Yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen and we can hear you very well. Please go ahead.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Luying Cheng. I'm glad to have this opportunity to share this article with you. The title of this article is Bibliometric Analysis of Foreign Papers of Standardized Patient Based on Teaching. And the main content of this article is to analyze the characteristics of standardized patients research based on teaching, objectively evaluate the current situation and hotspots of standardized patient teaching and predict its development. I will share this article from these three parts. Part 1.
Liam, can you please speak a little bit louder? It's like coming a bit faint. Can you please be a bit louder? Yeah.
Okay. Part 1. Background. Standardized patients are those who, after standardized and systematic training, can consistently and realistically replicate the clinical reality and have the trap functions of simulating patients, assessors, and mentors. In 1963, Dr. Howard Burroughs of the University of Southern California employed a model of the art department as a simulated patient to train medical students in the interrogation and physical examination in the training teacher activity, which was the embryonic form of standardized patient. In 1981, Dr. Stillman, a pediatrician at the University of Arizona, introduced the SP to China. Subsequently, with the founding of Chinese Medical Association Foundation, several universities in China jointly cultivated the first batch of SP. Nowadays, Nowadays, SP has become a recognized and effective teaching method and is widely used in different specialized in the field of medicine and health, including clinical medicine, nursing, stomatology, traditional Chinese medicine, and rehabilitation, and so on. Part 2. The method of the article. PubMed database was searched comprehensively to obtain foreign papers of standardized patient based on teaching. Backups was used to extract and organize the information of author, journal, country, and language, and to generate co-occurrence metrics for authors. NetDraw in UCNet was used to map the social network of productive authors. Crossweaver software was used to extract keywords and conduct cluster analysis while construction networking map for high frequency network keywords. The result of the article. A total of 5,132 papers published in 80 languages were included. They were published in 1,089 journals, among them academic medicine and medical education published more than 200 articles respectively. Of the 49 countries that participated in the publication of included studies, the United States was the most frequent. Mr. Reithens, Mr. Blewett, and Mr. Nestle ranked the top 3 among 15,714 authors. For research topics was obtained by cluster analysis of keywords. In Cluster 1, many involving the application of various models related to related to medicine in interteaching. Cluster 2, mainly the influence of age and gender on communication with standardized patients. Cluster 3 is mainly about the application of standardized patients in medical student education and clinical ability assessment. Cluster 4, the theme is the application of standardized patients in nursing education of nursing students and the attitude of health professionals to standardize the patient's curriculum. The application of standardized patients in medical education and clinical competence assessment, as well as the attitude of health professionals to learning courses are hot research topics. There are some diagrams from the article. This is top 10 journals. This is the top 20 keywords. This is a high frequency author social network graph and high frequency keywords net graph. Part 3, summary. In recent years, there is still a high degree of interest in the study of standardized patients. There are various differences in the journal distribution of relevant articles. The United States and the United Kingdom have made outstanding contributions to the publication of standardized patients studies. A few authors have been engaged in standardized patients studies for a long time, and collaboration among authors need to be strengthened. For research four research studies were found, suggesting that new research directions should be explored in the future to promote the further development of standardized patients research. That's all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Luying. And like others, we will take questions towards the end. Can we now try Liping's presentation again?
Okay.
She was here. And Liping, are you there in the audience? Could you try sharing your screen again, please? Liping, I can see you in the audience, but I can't see you here. So maybe you need to share your screen again. Yeah. Can you please try sharing your presentation again?
Could you see my screen now?
Not yet. Yeah, it's starting to show. Yeah. We
Oh,
can see the
okay.
screen, but not the
Okay.
presentation. We can see the screen now and the presentation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Could you make it a little bit full screen or bigger currently?
This one? Is it?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ashrita, and sorry for the delay because of the poor internet. Okay, here is the topic about the effectiveness of problem-based learning for medical education. It's an overview of systematic reviews. So first, what is the problem-based learning? The problem-based learning is a student-centered approach in which students learn about a subject by working in groups to solve an open-ended problem. This problem is what drives the motivation and the learning. And there are 8 steps in the PBL model.
We lost her, so we'll wait for 1 minute for her to join again. Okay, while she's joining, let us take some questions from the audience as well as, so maybe you all can come back to your video so we can take some questions here. So I have a question for Liang Zhao. So for example, if we want to analyze, some of the thematic areas to be covered by research, be it in the medical field or, not so in social science. So could you throw some lights on should we be using keyword co-occurrence or co-citations? And also, does the choice of data sets, if we use either of these, gets affected anyways? Liang, could you please answer this question? Liang, can you hear me?
Okay.
So my question was, I hope you got that part. So, choice between using keyword co-occurrence or co-citations. Does it get affected by the type of data sets we use?
Choose a difference. May difference?
Yes.
Invented. In my opinion, it's by the Bibliometric Analysis in will use more will use neighbor, and they will use neighbor to present its development rather than words.
Okay.
And
Okay. Thanks, Liang. And I'm sorry I did not got most part of it. I think there's some network issue from my end, but I think I'll try joining in again in that case. And we will take this discussion again. Let me try with Lipping again. Can you please start sharing your screen and see if you could,
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, very well. We can hear you. Can you share your screen, please?
Let me share my screen again, right? Windows. Could you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so may I ask where I dropped off from the slide 1, 2, or 3?
It was from 1. So you start from the beginning, that would be helpful.
Okay. Okay. Sorry for the delay, and I'm going to share our team's work on the effectiveness of problem-based learning for medical education. It's an overview of systematic reviews. So the first is, what is the problem-based learning? The problem-based learning is a student-centered approach in which students learn about a subject by working in a group to solve an open-ended problem. This problem is what drives the motivation and the learning. And there are 8 steps in problem-based learning model. Before learning, students were divided into several groups and then presented and discussed a real problem. Students identified what is known in relation to the problem, what information is needed, and what strategy or next step to take in order to learn the information, the knowledge, and the skills they needed. And then individuals researches different issues and gather sources to critical analysis, reflect and compare, and share their solution with other groups. At first, we use the problem learning. The problem-based learning was mainly used in medical education and has now become a popular teaching method in the world. At the same time, there are many systematic reviews on the effectiveness of PBL. And our team made an overview of these views to estimate the effectiveness of problem-based learning. For medical students, improving academic and non-academic performance above. All our process of methods were followed by the PRISMA guideline. First, we searched CNKI, Campbell Library, Cochrane Library, Science Direct, something, and with no restriction on the year of publication, with the following search string. And this is our criteria for inclusion and exclusion. We extracted and coded the general information of study and the effect size.
Jiang, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're still on the first slide. If you're showing other slides, we can't really see it.
Really? But I am on slide 5 now.
Okay, so could you try it again? I can only see the slide first.
Okay, let me have a try. Stop sharing, okay? And then I enter it again. Jesus. Could you see the slide 6 now?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay, so just to start from this, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Here is our criteria for exclusion and inclusion. We extracted and coded the general information of study and effect size in the data analysis process. We also used AMSTA2 Prisma abstract grade to access the methodology and reporting quality and evidence certainty. Now, 46 systematic reviews were included in this overview. According to the figure 2, it's the effectiveness of PBL on academic performance was positively, while the evidence were low certainty. Could you see this slide?
You're already again
Especially-
on slide 6. You're on slide 6 right now. The criteria for inclusion, yeah.
Slide 6 is still here, or the slide 7?
Yeah, we can see slide
Okay.
7. Maybe try, yeah.
Okay, just could you see my slide clearly? Could I just use this version, okay?
Now we can see it's moving. It's on effectiveness of PBL.
Okay, no, that's good. And you can see in this slide that it's the effectiveness of PBL on academic performance. It was positively, but the evidence were very, very low certainty. And the effectiveness of PBL was positively in students' knowledge and practice skill, while the evidence were also very low. And here is the result of regression analysis, that the effectiveness size was influenced by the number of included studies in systematic reviews. And the result of trim and fill show that there was no obviously publication bias. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. And as the non-academic performance, the effectiveness of problem-based learning on non-academic performance was positively, especially on the teaching satisfaction, study interest, critical analysis, skills, team cooperation, ability, and self-learning ability. So here is the overall the result of the methodological quality is positively, but the result of quality and abstract is negatively. So here is the conclusion that the teaching effect of PBL was better than the LBL among medical education and academic performance, especially in knowledge scores and practical skills. The teaching effect of PBL amount is known, especially in teaching satisfaction, study interest, critical analytical skills, team cooperation ability, and self-learning ability. All the evidence certainly was low, and the methodological quality was positively, and the reporting quality and abstract was negatively. The effectiveness of problem-based learning was better than lecture-based learning in medical education. Well, there is also need high-quality evidence. That's all. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, all the presenters. Very interesting presentations. Now let's take some questions from the audience first. And there was a question from Howard. Luying has been responding to that, which is, what are the main differences between bibliometric analysis, scoping reviews, and evidence mapping? Can all of you try and respond to that questions? Maybe Liang, can I start with you?
Okay.
那我问题吗？
The same question. Difference between scope review and
evidence mapping. So what are the main differences? Yeah.
Okay, in my opinion, the biometric analysis is preferred to describe the problem with neighbor, with its quality, with its neighbor, and the scope review is preferred to words, and the evidence map is may be do some major maybe do some major data such as meta-analysis. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Jian, do you want to add to that? You're muted in case you're speaking. Jian, do you want to answer that question as well?
Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear. I can't hear you.
Okay, so I'm having a terrible network today. I was posing this question to our next presenter, Jiong. Do you want to answer the same question posed by Howard in the chat? What are the main differences between bibliometric analysis, scope review, and evidence mapping? Did you hear me?
Okay. The same question. Evidence map between and
okay.
Evidence map and Bibliometric.
This question was for the next speaker, Liang. So any of the other speakers would like to answer this question, please? Luying and Jion, could you please try and answer this question? Could you all please, come on camera and so that we can take some questions now? I mean, this is a question to all of you now. I can't hear you very well. I'm not sure I'm the only one here who cannot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bibliometrics refers to the interdisciplinary sense of quantitative analysis of all knowledge carries by means of arithmetics and systematics. It's a comprehensive knowledge system integrating mathematics, systematics, and field knowledge with emphasis on quantification. Evidence maps are a form of bibliometrics. So,
I don't know whether it's for me, but you're breaking up a little. Really cannot hear you.
can you hear me?
Could you try it again, maybe?
Oh, okay. I'm also the app. Yeah. Bibliometrics refers to the interdisciplinary sense of quantitative analysis of all knowledge carries by means of mathematics and statistics. It is a comprehensive knowledge system integrating mathematics, statistics, and philosophy with the emphasis on quantification. The evidence mappings are a form of bibliometrics.
Okay, thank you, Cheng. You were not very clear throughout, but you had given your answers in the chat. So maybe, Jiang, would you want to answer this question as well? Do you have any reflections to that?
You mean the questions about the difference between the bibliometrics and the evidence gap map, right?
Yeah, do you have any reflections? Yeah.
To me, I think bibliometrics is a visual presentation of basic informations such as the keywords, authors, countries, etc. But the evidence gap map mainly included a lot of informations and like interventions and evidence and the outcomes, which require systematic methodologies. So it is a higher level than the bibliometrics, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And I think I do agree with that because bibliometric analysis do add supporting information to our scoping reviews and evidence and gap map. But, in terms of the analysis, they are broader analysis being carried out in terms of evidence and gap maps. The visualization is definitely different. I think that could also be something to add when we are, talking about the difference between all of these different evidence tools. Okay, my another question is, how much, what exactly is the role of standardization or, when you talk about normalization in bibliometrics? So can any of you give some reflections to that? And, what are the key implications on the results for that? Any one of you, could you please answer that? Okay, so Liang or Cheng, could you please answer the questions? Or, what is the exact implication of, any reflection on standardization? Because I think standardization is quite important when we talk about bibliometrics, and it does impact the results. So what exactly are the key, things to consider when someone is going for bibliometric analysis in terms of standardization? Liang, June, you were about to say something? Yeah, please go ahead. Oui. cannot really hear you.
Scope and deep them are different. Sorry,
Hi, I was just asking one question. Why do we need standardization in bibliometrics? So in your first or second slide, you mentioned that you did keyword standardization. And so what exactly is the implication of those standardization? Why do we do it? And, things to consider if suppose I'm doing for bibliometric analysis, what should we be considering?
Dization, how I to dization?
Yeah.
Because there are three standardized. First is keyword standardized, and keyword standardized for example, I do CBT, I do CBE about research, and some keywords for me is not missed because, for example, human, human and some keywords is through the statistical method. This words is not missed for me, so I will remove these keywords. And some keywords they have same means. For example, nurse and specialized nurse. This two keywords is means nurse. So I will measure them, and this is keyword standardized, and the journalist standardized and then journal standardized. Journal standardized is means some journal they change their names. I will be update this change names, and the institution and this institution standardized is all. It seems as journals standardized because some institution exchanged their name. I will update their name. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you so much, Liang. June, do you have anything to add, or Ching, do you have anything to add to this? Anyone of you?
Nope.
Okay. So I have, a next question. Please, audience, please feel free to keep on adding questions in the chat. We still have time to take one or two questions, so we can do that. So, since all of you have done bibliometric, and somehow this bibliometric analysis tends to be inclined towards the impact factor. So, do you have any, any things about how they are talking about the research quality and the assertions about research quality? Do you have anything to say to that? Because it's mostly inclined towards the impact factor, and they are not necessarily aiming towards the research quality altogether, right? So, any thoughts on that?
Search. Sorry, can you speak again?
Yeah, sure. So I was just asking about, do bibliometric indicators have any assertions about the research quality? Because they tend to be inclined towards the impact factor. And I think this is one of the criticism being talked about, aiming to talk about research quality based on impact factors. So do you have any thoughts about that?
Search quality. Hey, search quality. Because for the first article, I made to find the reform of postgraduate curriculum and teaching in China. So I searched some database of China database, and before or through the search, I will ask my I will ask my teacher for she is search specialist, and I will ask her to some advice. So it's to confirm my search quality.
Okay, thank you, Liang. So do we have any more questions from the audience?
No.
Okay, so if you do not have any more questions, I would like to close the session today. Okay, so we have one more question. So how about bibliometric analysis of knowledge production by any organization? So we have a question in the chat. How about the bibliometric analysis of knowledge production by any organization? So can any one of you, talk a little bit about that?
Knowledge product daily.
Jiang and Ching, you can also please come in.
Organization.
Okay, so that is something I can add. Maybe Liang, you can answer that. So Sabina, for a specific organization, it is not possible because we need to use a repository where the citation tracking is usually done. For example, Web of Science or Scopus. While I was in doing this course, way back in Leiden, I had the same question posed to the demonstrators, and that's what they mentioned, because either we transport all of these citations and everything into one place, which is usually not possible. So the answer would be it is not possible to do it specifically for Campbell collaboration per se, unless there are new ways to do it. But yeah, no. And the presenters can disagree with me, I think. Liang, Jiren, feel free to please share your thoughts. Do you think it's possible for a specific organization? Okay. Do we have any more questions from the audience? Because we are nearing, we still have 5 minutes. Unless we have questions, I would like to close the session for today. Okay, great, perfect. So I would like to thank all the presenters for their wonderful presentation and bringing us to work with bibliometric analysis. I think it is always an interesting topic and always an interesting analysis to do while we are doing a research, whether it's evidence mapping or scoping. It does support a lot of information and adds value to your results, specifically when we talk about scoping reviews and evidence map and gap maps. So thank you all the presenters, and if you have any questions to any of these presenters, you can write to them or you can write to the conference sponsors. Thank you once again, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you. 他先走，太绝了。